I'm so stressed out.
Okay. Okay, now, with our first one here, is PQRS a parallelogram? When we want to identify the types of parallelograms, or in this case, just a basic parallelogram, what makes a parallelogram a parallelogram? Because of redundancy. No. Just two pairs of parallel sides. So do I need to show distance at all? No. It's not asking us to show whether it's a rhombus. It's not asking us to show anything besides showing whether it is a parallelogram. So specifically look at what it's asking you for, and we're good to go. We got to be able to show our points. So if you need the points themselves, it asks us to write out the points for these. P will be what? -3, 4. Q is going to be 1, 2. R is going to be, S is going to be negative, okay, negative. We want to be able to find the slope. Now, you guys are going to be given the equations for this. You guys are also going to be given, not the equations, you guys will be given the equations and also a graph paper. This is the best way to probably do it, is a graph, right? For our first one here, PQ, we want to be able to find the slope. So PQ is what? -2/4, or just -1/2. Our QR, let me make that a little bit thicker. QR is our line down here, so I want to be able to find the slope between those two, which will be what? -4/2, or just -2. We're going to go back signs, so RS or SR, which will also be what? -2/. And our last side here, which is PS, down 4/. Before we can do anything, we got to make sure we can make conclusions out of this. What conclusions can be made from these two? From the slopes. PQ is parallel to RS. QR is parallel to PS, which makes two pairs parallel. Is it a parallelogram? Yes. Yep. Why or why not? Two pairs parallel. Okay, let's try out another problem. This is what we're going to do here. Try these problems out. I'm going to change up C to a specific type. Oh, come on. Don't copy C yet. Don't copy C. Made a boo-boo here. Do not copy C. Do A and B first. A and B is okay. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. There we go. C's coming once it lets me write, which it should right now, and here. Do you see? -1, -4. Can you see what B is? Are we okay with B? Or A? Graphing my first points, I'm going to go back 2 up, or back 3 up 2, over 4 up 1, back 1 down 4. What does it look like? Equilateral or isosceles. It could also be scaling, we don't know. This is one that's not that as clear as if you can look at it and just automatically tell what it is. Okay? For an equilateral triangle, or for any type of triangles, what do we need to show? What is it? Distance. Distance. So with these, I want to be able to show the distance between these. So between A and B. Reconnecting, are you kidding me? Come on, man. We already skipped all the way back here. Come on. Sorry, give me a second. This is B. Jesus. Okay. We're showing the distance between A and B. Miss Hamilton, you're going home. Okay. The length of AB, we got to be able to find the distance. So I'm going to go ahead and create my, what's happening here? What is, I'm going to go ahead and find the distance, which is at 7 and 1 is equal to C squared. I'm going to get the square root of 50. Does this help us solve anything? Does this help us with anything?
Nope.
We got to do more sides. This doesn't give us anything. BC is going to go back and up. So this is by 5 by 5. We're also going to get 50. What triangle automatically gets eliminated? Scalene. Why is it the scalene that gets eliminated? We already have 2 congruent sides. By definition of a scalene, all 3 sides are different. So automatically that gets eliminated. The next one over here, we're going to do AC. So AC is going to be what? Going down, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 2. Square root of now again, do we need to find slope? No. If it's specifically asking about a triangle, if it asks us about an equilateral right triangle, then we would have to show slope, but we don't have to. Okay? So what conclusions can be made with this? What can we say about these? 2 sides congruent. Another thing we could say is AB, line AB is equal to line BC or is congruent to each other. You wanted to say. Either one would work for me, as long as you tell me something about those two pairs. What can we conclude? Is it an equilateral? No. Why? Why is it not an equilateral? Not all sides are equal. Congruent, equal, congruent. I'm okay with either. I'm not too picky. Easy or hard? Good stuff. Next up, let's go. Let's check this one out. This is everything. This is everything. Quadrilateral has vertices 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 0, 2, -1. We got to determine what it is. And we got to give explanation if it's a square, rhombus, trapezoid, parallelogram, or rectangle. We got to be able to define those. B, square. Are we 100% for sure?
No, I haven't finished.
Haven't finished yet. 1, 2 is at A, 4, 3 is at B, 5, 0 is C, over 2, down 1 is D. We want to be able to connect our points. Okay, this is one of the long problems, so we got to be able to show everything for this, and I want to make sure that you guys understand that. The first thing I want to be able to see here is A. I'm going to do this length of A sides right here. It's going up 1 over 3, so 1 squared and 3 squared is going to give me 9 squared. So 1 squared, 3 squared is going to give me the square root of 10. Do we know it's going to always be 10? Square root of 10, sorry. Yes, Mr. Aguilar, that's what it's going to be. Yes, it's going to be square root of 10, but do I need to show work? Yes, I do need to show work. Okay, Mr. Aguilar, thank you for showing your work. You got to be able to show your work no matter what. I got to see work for this. If I see no work tomorrow, you're not going to get points.
Oh my God.
What?
Probably beat them. Probably. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's me. We didn't catch them or we smack them. And they stand for. I just run.
Like, what are you guys?
I run to this bag. So she opened it. I didn't infringe you.
Okay. We have all of our lengths. The second thing we got to do is find the slopes. So we want to be able to find the slopes of these. So A, B, its slope is going to be what? 1/3. I'll give you guys like 10 minutes to start ahead of me.
You give us like 10 seconds.
Tripping. Next one, BC. -3/1. Going from left to right. Right, rise over run. So I'm going to go down from B, right to C. DC or CD, going left to right again, going up 1 over 3. And then our last one, DA. Let's make our conclusions. What's the easiest conclusions we can make from our slope? So just square? It's a little bit more than that. From our slopes, what can we make them? 2 pairs parallel. I'm sorry? If it's perpendicular, I know. We're going to show that right now too. Huh?
If it's parallel, then it's not.
Now, do we have 4 right angles? How do we know that? all the slopes equal -1. When we multiply them out, and I'll just show the first one here, AB times BC is going to get you -1. Okay? I'm just going to put dot, dot, dot. You got to be able to show me this work. Another way for you to tell me that is if you just give me these parts. So if you give me AB is perpendicular to AD. That's one of them. For this upper corner, AB is perpendicular to BC. That's the second one. BC is perpendicular to CD.
Oh my god.
So extra.
Honestly, I'm so stressed.
Then we can put 4 right angles or 4 perpendicular lines or whatever you guys want to put. Whatever. 4 perpendicular lines. Okay. Is it a square?
Yes.
Why?
Because it has 4 angles.
4. Yes. 4 sides. Congruent. 4 perpendicular. I'm super abbreviating on that one. Is it a rhombus? What makes a rhombus a rhombus? Tell me by definition. Does this quadrilateral have 4 congruent sides? Therefore, yes, it is. It just needs a property. This goes back from last year. Remember, we did sometimes, always, never. If we're going up the tree, it's always, right? You guys, some of you guys didn't do it last year. A little bit different. Right? It's the same thing. If we're going upwards, it's always. So it's always a. Okay. Is it a trapezoid? Is it? Why is it not a trapezoid? Yep. Only one pair parallel. No. There's not that much hard math. It's slope and distance. You got to know this.
I can't remember this.
You got to remember the properties. Study. Study. They're not that. I mean, they're not that hard to remember. I don't think they're that hard to remember. Okay, you could just picture in your mind and be like, "What do I need?" What about parallelogram? Yes or no? First of all, what makes a parallelogram a parallelogram? Question. Pretty much. Pretty much. The team test is very, very similar to what we have here, right? This is like problem number 3. The problem we just did was like problem number 1. The second problem was like we did for number 2. And then what we're going to finish up is we're going to flip it over to the backside and we're going to do the 8 multiple choice, which I'm going to do the 8 multiple choice here. I'm probably going to give you guys an extra credit question too. So is it a parallelogram? Absolutely. Yes. 2 pair parallel. Is it a rectangle? By definition, what's a rectangle? Yep. 2 pairs para, 4 perpendicular angles. So even though it's a square, it can be multiple quadrilaterals, and that's what you guys have to define tomorrow. And this is enough. That's enough work for me. I'm not a man of many words on a paper, but I'm okay with you guys giving me very sweet and concise. You can't just put no, not perpendicular. Okay, you need to have more gusto than that. You need to have more oomph than that. Pizzazz, flair, whatever you want to say. What is it? Zhuzh it up? Zhuzh it up.
I hate you. That's gonna be on.
Okay, here we go. You guys are so weird. Flip it over to the back side. Or whatever. If you want to just continue on working on these are good. Now, I'm doing problems very similar to what you're going to see on the test. Now, you're going to have multiple choice, but these are just good to go over. The problems that are seen here are pretty much like pull up the team test. They're pretty much identical to what you see on the team test. Honestly. I think this is problem number 1 on the team test, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Honestly. Right? Okay. It probably, yes. But it's recording, so it's getting your voice.
I forgot. I probably still would have said it.
It's okay. I don't edit them. So whatever I'm saying right now, you're gonna hear from the video. It's fine. Okay, here we go. Now, when solving for a point through 2 pairs, what we want to be able to identify with is being able to show the slope formula. So slope formula is equal to y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. We got to be able to define our points and plug them in. So y2 and y1, if you put parentheses around them, it helps out. x2, x1, when we simplify, keep, change, flip, gives me negative 20. Keep, change, flip gives me 2. Negative 10 over 1, or just negative 10 would work. Questions? No. No questions, comments, concerns. Okay. For number 2, what do you think we have to do first? Distribute and solve. I got to write this a little bit more tinier. Tinier? I don't know. Distributive property gives me negative 10 minus 2x. This follows the do not call Mexico after midnight. So distribute. Don't call Mexico after midnight. So the first thing was distribute. We're done. The C stands for combined like terms. We don't have any of those. Move small value of x. So I'm going to add 6x to both sides. That takes care of those. We're going to get 2 is equal to negative 10 plus 4x. I'm going to rewrite it. Add and subtract out our terms. So I'm going to add 10 to both sides. Gives me 12 is equal to 4x. And then multiply or divide, which finishes up my last one. Divide everything by 4. X is going to be equal to 3. If you did it the other way, you could have done it the other way by subtracting out the 2x to get your variables on the left-hand side. That would have given you negative 12, negative 4x. Dividing both out would got you still positive 3. Got to know the difference. Negatives, negatives, positive, positives. Negatives, negatives, and positive, positives. Slope, intercept, form. This is problem number what on your team test? Was that 1, 2? I think that looks like 3 on your team test. Very similar types of problems. We're solving out so that it is in the form of y is equal to mx plus b. So we're solving for y. This is solving for literal equations. Something that you guys did in first semester of integrated math uno. Integrated math 1. And integrated math 1, I believe, is doing these right now. Yeah. You guys were there before. You guys were there before. Subtracting 3x. Huh? No.
No, I hated the people in that
Subtracting out 3x from both sides. I got to solve up for y, so what should I do to get that y by itself? Divide by 2. 2's are going to cancel, giving me y. Bingo. Good stuff. You will have multiple choice, but what I see a lot of people will mistake that for is they'll think that it's just one of them is negative. They'll somehow just drop the negative sign. 2 negatives equal a positive. You guys still remember, I think Mr. Jealous did this. Mr. Math?
Oh, yeah.
Right? 2 negatives gives you the positive, or a positive and a negative gives you a negative. Negative and positive still gets you negative. Remember that?
I never used it.
Katie's going to hate. Katie's going to hate. Barnholm. Oh, yeah. I went to school with her. You know that? To school with that. She was in band and I was a football player, so I never saw her. It's okay. Where I went to school? High school? Cuna Rancho. I love Rancho.
Oh, my mom.
Love Rancho. I had this class before. My freshman year was my first class. I sat in the corner. You know what the class this was? This used to be? A Spanish class. Espanol. It used to be Mr. Senior Morales' class. He's a track coach up at Essos. Now, find the measure of angle A. What is it? What is it? Well, how do we solve it? Some of the angles must add up to what? So we have all these angles must add up to 180. So it's going to be 10 plus x plus 7x plus what? What does that little box tell me? Is equal to 8x. Slow down. You're going fast. Subtracting out 180. Dividing out by 8. Is this our answer? What is it asking us to solve for?
The measure of angle A.
The measure of angle A. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to plug it back into A. A happens to be 10 plus x, where x is 10. 10 plus 10 is?
Degrees.
Yeah, degrees. We'll put degrees in there. Keep me accountable. Look at this. You know how much I paid for energy or AC?
It's expensive.
$4 because I'm solar. What?
Lucky nice. My other I ate 300 last night.
I wore a sweater and sweats last night. Felt amazing.
I'm waiting for winter season, y'all.
Okay, here we go. We have 60 minutes, so we still got to do these couple problems. Looking at these two. Let's see. Copy. This is problem number, I'm looking at your paper, number 5. Very similar. And number 6 on your team test. Technically, there would be only one more problem, but I think I'm going to give you guys an extra credit problem if you guys decide to show work for it. It is a word problem. I think it's a very viable, good word problem, but it's up to you to kind of complete it. It's all right. Who's absent? Who's absent today? Logan Garcia, you got back to me already. Did I email you? Okay, yeah, you can just, you don't worry about it. You can get the stuff that's on School Loop, or you can get it to me. You can? Yeah. Come after class real quick and get you. Octavius moved over, Alyssa moved around, Alyssa's moving, Jordan Lopez is here. Matthew Tamia's here. Eddie, what's up, Ed? You're still here. Bryson, you're here. Chuga.
Sadly.
Not here. You guys are so mean to each other.
Just the other two. Like, keep us off. Matthew, lettuce. Looking like a Cabbage Patch Kid, though. Hey. Relax. Hey. Okay. Here we go. Graphing my slopes. I want to look at my slopes being -5/3, comma. B is equal to -2, which is my intercept. When I graph this, I'm going to go down 2. From that point, I'm going to, have my instruction. Can you write our pass for me for class? Thank you. I'm going to go up 5, back 3, and even though it's going to kind of look backwards, it's okay. We're still going downwards. Be off the paper if we did it that way. The other one was going to be 1/3, comma, B is equal to 4. So I'm going to go up to 4, up 1/3. It's going to give me an intersection right here. What is my solution to this system? -3, 3. What class are you going to? Ooh, yeah, you need to pass from her. She can get mad. Get mad. Brings her bacon? Yes, sir.
What a healthy choice.
That show for teachers was not.
We have our substitution. We're going to take it. We're going to plug it in down below. 4x minus 8 parentheses. We're going to plug that in is equal to 24. What should I plug in? 5x plus 6. Solving it out, 4x minus 40x minus 48 equal to 24. I'm going to CLT this term, give me -36 minus 48. Does it help that I write out these out a little bit? Simplifying one step further, we're going to get -36x is equal to what? 72. X is going to be equal to. Is it done? Are we done?
No.
What do we got to do? Top or bottom? Tippy, 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 top. Tippy, tippy, top, tippy, tippy, top. Y is equal to 5 times -2 plus 6. Y is going to be equal to -10 plus 6. Y is equal to, is that my solution? What is my solution? -2, -4. Cool beans, yes. Righteous. Here we go. What?
Which is a little thing on the end of your shoelace. This little thing right here.
The little tab.
Right here. These verbs to and footer is where I learned everything. Same.
Absolutely.
I get mad over kids who don't know how to school. I get mad over Candace. Candace needs to get rocked.
Who's Candace?
From Phineas and Ferb, she's a sister. She's like a sister. She's such a snitch.
Who?
She's such a snitch.
From what show?
She's Phineas and Ferb. Yeah. She's a dumb snitch too. She's.
Aren't you guys still watching like Disney Channel? And even Stevens. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, oops.
I started watching Nip Tuck.
Aren't you too young for that?
Well, I'm watching this British show. It's so funny. It's so funny.
In a little bit.
Did you ever watch Fear Factor? Yeah, I throw up every time I watch it.
What?
It's so gross. I can never be in Fear Factor.
We'll staple it. We'll staple. Okay, here we go. Looking at elimination, which terms should we want to get rid of? First of all, is everything stacked correctly?
No. Yes.
Which ones do we want to get rid of? Is X or Y either easy? Either one of them are easy. Get rid of Y or X.
Why?
Raise your hand if you want me to get rid of the X's. Consensus tells me I have 4. Tell me to get rid of the Y's. Raise your hand. I have about 6. How many people don't care which one I use? Not helping at all. I'm gonna do X.
Wow. Okay. You have a larger number on the Y.
Fine, I'll do Y.
This is my trouble.
-2. We're gonna multiply by -2 to get rid of my Y's. Jesus. Like it matters. You guys are freaking out. 2x minus 12y is equal to 24. So we use distributive property. This eliminates my middle equation, so I don't have to worry about that one anymore. We're going to add these rows up. These are going to give me x, right? These are going to cancel. 30. Take away 24 is going to give me what? Look at how beautiful that looks. We don't have to do any work. Math. Are we done?
No.
Take it and do what? Top or bottom?
Bottom. Answer only one.
The computer did. I didn't. Subtracting out 12 from both sides, we are going to get 12. Y is going to be equal to -1. What is my solution? What? Sorry. You're so extra right now.
You don't make us do all this math. At least do it correctly.
I did do it correctly.
Where we're supposed to go? God.
Would it be worse if I just wrote it like this?
God, Robert.
I just wrote it. Not too worried about it.
You're my OCD. I've never had
Go reels. How do you have this much energy?
Because
That canister,
every single one
that canister over that's the one over there by the mirror. The mirror. You see that?
Yes.
That was filled with coffee.
Oh, see, that's you guys should have coffee.
okay, all my classes are like this, and they're extremely boring. So once I get here, I just like take all my boring. and
Release. Release.
Sorry.
Here we go. Here's a final one. Now this is extra. Extra cred.
Oh, I really don't have to do it right now.
No one will ever do sunshine is gone. No one will ever
Okay. Extra credit for this one, so this will be required. Okay, try to set this one up. If you guys, we still have like a couple more minutes. I'll let the last 5 minutes of you guys just kind of chill out. You can also set it up different on the equations. I'm not going to tell you how to set it up because I think you guys should remember how to do this. Daniel's school is selling tickets to an annual dance competition. On the first day, the ticket sales of the school sold 8 senior citizen tickets, 14 children tickets, at a total sale of $266. The school took in $189 the second day by selling 12 senior citizen tickets and 7 children tickets. What is the price of each one senior citizen and child? So we got to be able to set up this equation and see how we're going to do this. Each sentence roughly estimates a equation. On the first day, 8 senior citizen, 8 S plus 14 children sold for a total of 266. It's going in there. It's delayed. On the second day, it's going to be our second equation, which the school took in $189 by selling 12 seniors and 7 children. What would be the best method to solve this out? Elimination. Okay. Could you do either one of them? Yes, you could have. Is there an easier one in this case? Yeah. What would be easier to get rid of, the C or S?
C.
By doing what?
Multiply by -2.
Bottom, or the blue, by -2. I'm going to get -24S plus, or sorry, subtracted 14. 189 it's going to eliminate my middle equation, so I don't have to deal with that. If we're going to reduce down, we are going to get 16S -112, that we are. Oh, no, it should be negative. Yeah, sorry. So we're almost done here. 112 divided by 16. S is going to be, so how much are senior tickets? $7. It's too expensive.
That's too cheap.
Maud just talks a lot during class.
That's so cheap.
Are we done? How do we find out the value of a child's ticket?
Plug it back in.
Plug it in, plug it in. I'm going to plug it just into the top equation here. 8 times 7 plus 14C is equal to 266. We're going to get 56 plus 14C. We're going to get 14C is equal to 266 minus 56. Oh no, oh no. No! Are you kidding me? Come on, come on.
I'm gonna be watching the video tonight. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna watch it all day. This is also my new ringtone.
C is equal to what? So 715 would be your answer. You guys feel like you guys are ready?
Yeah. Born ready.
Test tomorrow.
From the back of that.